Hello and welcome to a new episode of Campus TV. Today we are at AICTE headquarters, which is situated in South Delhi, and we have with us the chairman of AICTE, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, with us to talk about various initiatives taken by AICTE, and we'll have few questions with various other departments and fields. So let's start the interview. First of all, we will thank you to Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe sir for taking out time from his busy schedule and giving us this interview, sir.
Thank you very much. So welcome here to
Thank you, sir.
AICTE.
Thank you. Our first question is, sir, that we have seen a lot of engineering colleges being shut down from last 4 to 5 years. Despite being a large number of youth looking for admissions in various streams, there is a closing of engineering colleges. What is your thought on this?
I think there is some misconception about this. Number one, in the last 1.5 decades, large number of engineering colleges were started, one after the other. So the capacity increased manifold and the demand was almost constant. So it looks as though there are large number of colleges getting closed. The reason was more number of colleges were started than required, number one. Number two, large number of private universities as well as deemed universities have come into existence in the last 1 decade, and they also admit engineering students. What AICTE takes care of is affiliated colleges. So the number of vacant seats in affiliated colleges is increasing, thereby giving an impression that there is less demand for engineering or colleges are not running, but it is partly because large number of students are shifted towards private universities and deemed universities. So number of students actually joining engineering has not reduced.
Okay, so if there has been a news recently that says that there is a rise in the number of medical seats, the demand of medical seats is more as compared to engineering. So how far this news is true?
A number of engineering seats are so large in number, and as I said earlier, vacant seats appear to be large, and therefore it looks as though demand has shifted. But whereas in terms of number of medical colleges and seats available are very, very scanty, and depending on our increased population, definitely we need large number of doctors, so medical colleges are necessary, and therefore it looks like there is a big demand increasing in medical colleges, whereas not so in engineering. This is not true.
Okay. We recently saw a very great initiative in the terms of Smart India Hackathon. So can you just elaborate more about this hackathon and what are the future plans?
Hackathons have been conducted from about end of the last century, around close to last century end. And in the last 15-16 years, there have been practices of hackathons being conducted in different parts of the world, including in companies, corporates, some of the universities. But our attempt of Smart India Hackathon is one of the novel ones and one of the largest ones in the world. So we have roped in almost every engineering college in the country in participating in this hackathon. And the problem statements are not unique to one particular company, one particular university, but we have drawn problems from the government departments, as many as 28 government departments, and this time 17 state governments. They came forward and gave challenging problem statements, which were thrown as opportunity for our students to give their ideas. और उन्होंने जो सॉल्यूशंस दिए उसमें से अच्छे जो सॉल्यूशन थे उनको हमने फाइनल में सिलेक्ट किया, और करीब 1 लाख से चुनकर 10,000 छात्रों को 26 अलग अलग सेंटर्स में एक साथ में ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए मौका दिया गया. 36 घंटे विदाउट स्लीपिंग students actually participated and gave solutions. The way forward is many of these solutions have to be implemented by those government departments. So we are doing hand holding, mentoring between government department and students, as well as some mentor from industry, and a robust solution is prepared which will be made use of by the government department for the betterment of the civil life actually. So citizens will be able to make use of those applications developed by students. This year we are also having a hardware hackathon. The actual product is going to be created by our students in 10 different centers in 11 different disciplines.
So the way Smart India Hackathon has been planned and initiated in a very well versed manner, is there any plan to promote the startup ecosystem as been started by the government of India and by our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji? Because we see a lot of private institutions not focusing on this startup ecosystem. They are pushing more on employability and then giving jobs placement to students, but the entire need of the hour is to promote startup, to create more and more job givers rather than job seekers. So what is your view and what is the initiative doing by AICTE?
I fully agree with you that instead of seeking employment, our young generation should start their own entrepreneurial journey and create startups and provide employment to others, and that is the order of the day. For this, from our side, AICTE initiated its own student startup policy for all technical educational institutions, and it was launched by the former President of India, Sri Pranab Mukherjee, on November last year, 16. And after that, in last 1.5 years, we have held several workshops in different states. We have written to all the governors of all the states and requested the governors to conduct meeting of all vice chancellors, and in turn vice chancellors should percolate this down to the affiliated colleges. So we have a stream of things which are happening in order to encourage startup culture. On the other side, we have also signed up with Department of Science and Technology and Niti Aayog, who have been providing support for setting up incubators. Large number of incubators are being created in different colleges, universities, and this is where win-win situation will happen. We will support DST and Niti Aayog, they will support us, we will support the colleges, we will conduct workshops, and not only government but private and all colleges and universities, once they create a culture of entrepreneurship from their campuses, I'm sure that the trend will change, and trend is already changing. We have in our workshop, one of the other things which we do is handhold mentor our students and also create courses which will be offered as electives for our students in their colleges. Thereby, instead of waiting for the final year and then start the entrepreneurial journey, right from first year, second year, courses on business management, courses on converting innovation into reasonable product, how do you conduct market survey, how do you get funding, how do you create a good business plan. If such courses are available in the colleges in their first, second, third year, all bright ideas of our students can get translated into startups.
Now, so few of the institutions that have been shut down and those having good infrastructure with good labs, what is your suggestion to them to run different kind of courses being required at this point of time?
One of the things which we have said is not only closed ones, even the existing ones where admissions are not taking full, we are asking them to have another yojana which is Prime Minister's योजना है कि जिसमें स्किल डेवलपमेंट को ज़्यादा स्कोप दिया गया है. वी कॉल इट एज PMKVY, प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना. इसके अंतर्गत हम हर कॉलेज में एक एक सेक्टर में 25-25 ऐसे कम से कम 4 सेक्टर्स को 100 स्टूडेंट्स को आप स्किल डेवलपमेंट कर दीजिए. अपने पास जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑलरेडी है, इक्विपमेंट है, मशीनरी है और फैकल्टी भी है, सपोर्ट स्टाफ है, उनका ही इस्तेमाल करते हुए आप स्टूडेंट्स को यदि स्किल डेवलपमेंट में काम योगदान देंगे तो कुछ लोग जो स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट्स है क्लास 8 के बाद 10th के बाद, तो वो लोग लाइमलाइट में आएंगे, वो एम्प्लॉयबल हो जाएंगे. तो ये एक योजना है. और इसमें जो क्लोज्ड हो रहे हैं कॉलेजेस, उनको तो हम कह रहे हैं कि आप उसको ITI में कन्वर्ट करना है तो कर सकते हो. एग्जिस्टिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यूज़ करते हुए आप बहुत सारी चीज़ कर सकते हैं. और जो प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना है उसके अंतर्गत स्टूडेंट को ट्रेन करने के लिए हम तो पर स्टूडेंट 8,000 रुपीज़ भी दे रहे हैं.
There has been a question that more than 17 lakh seats being lying vacant last year in the colleges, but still we have seen that 800 new technical colleges and campus have been given approval to start from new sessions. So how do we see a difference when the colleges are not getting admissions and they are not able to run those institutions and we are opening new colleges? So how do you see that?
This 17 lakh seats being vacant is not in engineering. this covers all domains,
Right.
right from engineering, management, architecture,
Pharmacy. Right.
hotel management, applied arts and crafts. Of course, majority will be from engineering.
Right.
That is about out of around 16 lakh seats, 7.5, 8 lakh seats are vacant. So that means around 50% seats are
50%.
vacant in engineering.
Right.
In other domains, they are little lesser. So this is the background. Now, whoever are not able to run the college properly, they are also coming to close the college on one side. So it's not that only colleges are getting opened. There are large number of colleges getting closed by their own will. We are not forcing them because they are not able to maintain the relevant quality. Students are not coming, they are closing. On the other side, some better entrepreneurs, those who want to provide better quality education, they are coming into the stream also. But the 800 colleges which you referred, number one, we are not allowed to open 800 colleges. And out of these 800, maximum 600 of them are pharmacy colleges, not engineering colleges.
Okay.
So the new colleges applications which we received were in engineering were hardly 200. Remaining were in other fields, most of them being pharmacy colleges.
Right.
And we have not given all pharmacy colleges also, nor all the engineering colleges.
Right.
And many engineering colleges have closed, management colleges have also closed.
Have closed. So as you said, the management colleges have also been closed. So that was also one of the question that looking at the management side, we see a program run as MBA and PGDM programs. So where PGDM programs being the costly programs and MBA being a lesser cost program. But still more than 100 of the institutes, if I take a last 1 year figure, have been shut down. So we are talking since the beginning of the interview that engineering colleges being shut down, management shut down. What is the core problem? Are these institutions run as in companies or profit making institutions, and then they are not able to maintain quality, then they have to shut down? Because most of the institutions that have been running, and they are continue to run in a very good manner, because they have maintained quality education, quality staff, infrastructure. So like your take and your suggestion for those maybe in future do not suffer while shutting their shops.
The first thing is quality is important. You may have opened a college, but unless you provide good quality education, which will finally lead into either employment or become entrepreneur. One of the two things should be the net result out of the education which students receive in their colleges. If that is not satisfied, naturally parents and students, through a word of mouth, through social media, people come to know which is a well performing college and which is not so well performing college, and naturally those who are doing well, their seats are full today also, and those who are not performing well because they don't have either faculty, they don't have infrastructure, they don't have good quality educational system, they are not able to survive, and therefore such colleges are coming forward to close on their own.
Now most of the colleges are asking for autonomy. They say that if we get the autonomy, then we are able to run in a very good manner, then we can run the institution or university. And you also talked about automatic autonomy to the institutions. So can you elaborate more about this autonomy, how to give the autonomy to an institution, and is that a compulsory that if we do not give autonomy, then the institution cannot perform? What are your views on this, sir?
No, most probably most of the people misunderstand what is meant by autonomy. Principle of autonomy is so that there is a freedom for faculty members, for the senate, for the academic councils to create courses which are useful for students and in turn to industry and society. And our universities which affiliate colleges have become unwieldy. Most of the universities which had earlier hardly 5 engineering colleges affiliated or 8 colleges affiliated, today have 400, 500 colleges affiliated to a university, only engineering. There may be other arts colleges, science colleges, and number of colleges affiliated are very huge. So university is not able to function as really a center of excellence to create opportunities in terms of latest curriculum, and therefore each of these colleges are suffering because of the problem that the university is not able to cater to them. So if the autonomy is given, each college is independent, their college level curriculum committees, board of studies can decide on what is the latest required, and you don't require approvals at different levels and time consuming activity, and thereby most of the students will get up to date knowledge. That is why autonomy is important, and autonomy needs to be given to colleges. Now our country plus the 3 neighboring countries, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, are the only 4 countries in the world who have the British legacy of affiliation system. British themselves stopped the affiliation system, and autonomy is there. In every part of the world autonomy is there. We have stuck on to that, and we need to break this. Now there are 2 types of problems. Sometimes a college is interested in autonomy, but the faculty and staff protest that they don't want autonomy. There are cases when college is interested, your faculty staff are also interested, but university does not want to give away one of the well performing colleges which is under its umbrella. So there are a variety of reasons for not getting autonomy so easily for many colleges. So what I was proposing is, if a well performing college having excellent accreditation grade, why should it apply for autonomy? It should be automatically be given autonomy.
If you talk about curriculum revision, faculty training, student induction and exam reforms, can you just elaborate more on the initiatives and proceedings?
See, most of the industries and different bodies during different surveys, one of the things which comes to light is employability of our graduates is poor. This is what is being talked about in the last 1 decade. So we need to improve it. So access equity we have achieved, but quality of education and thereby employability or becoming entrepreneurs is what we need to do. So we started different initiatives. First initiative is the curriculum. So unless the curriculum is up to date, based on what is latest happening in the field is not known to the student, no industry will employ him. So we have revised all our curricula and requested all the vice chancellors to adopt those curricula. Thereby our students will start getting the latest in the field. So this has already happened. Now when we change the curriculum, our teachers who were students about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they themselves have not learned many of these subjects. So they will be found wanting in delivering that required lectures, etc. to our students. So hand holding and training of teachers also becomes important. Our next initiative has been training of teachers as faculty development program in the latest technologies, latest courses, latest subjects, either through MOOCs, massive online open courses, or through conducting actually in-house faculty development programs. So this is also going on parallelly. The third important part is we have adopted what is known as outcomes based education. We are measuring learning outcomes. And for measuring the learning outcomes, the nature of question paper and the examination has to be different from what it used to be in the yesteryears.
Right.
So we were always having examinations where you ask for, give short notes, write some essay on that. I think that only will allow a student to memorize something and then produce it, reproduce it and get marks. Theoretically he may appear to be very bright, but he would not have either understood the actual content properly, its implications, its application, where it can be applied, how it can be made useful to society and industry. I think these kind of question papers are required to be designed, and so we have examination reforms with variety of inputs. Thereby our students testing also will be on the platform where we will be able to test his all abilities rather than only memorizing abilities. Then we come to the last part, that is the hands-on practical training, and for which we have made internship as mandatory. Students are required to go during either 2-3 summer vacations for 2 months each to an industry, or at least 1 full semester if the curriculum permits, and then earn those credits also for your curriculum and also learn actual industry practices. So this is also a very significant thing which we have introduced. Lastly, student induction program is a new program which we have launched, wherein during the first 3 weeks of student, when he comes to a new college, there will be no classes. There will be a variety of activities. It's not that he is idling, but he will be getting accustomed to a new climate, new atmosphere in a new college, new environment. Also exercises, yoga in the morning. There will be games. There will be a faculty member with every 25 students, so that they are monitored and level playing field is created for all variety of students, whether he is rich or poor background, whether from English medium or Hindi or Tamil medium background, whether from economically forward and economically backward classes. So whatever the differential exists when they join, that should not percolate and continue. So within 3 weeks we want good friendship to be created between students and teachers, and variety of activities, including in the afternoon sessions there would be a movie screened, there could be a class for painting, there could be a music class, dance, sculpting. So different art forms also will be undertaken during that period, and lectures by eminent successful people, so that there is a generation of enthusiasm among students for learning. And once this happens, next 4 years will go very smooth.
This question is from the students side, that what is your message, that how, if any student is looking for a good institution, a good college, maybe management, engineering or medical, how should we go and choose? What are the parameters? Because most of the institutions, private institutions, claim that they are number one in Delhi, they are number one in North India, and they have so many rankings. So your message to students, how to choose a good institute?
There are two important parameters by which students and parents can judge how a good institution is. First and foremost, you talked about ranking. So there is already a national level ranking system which has come in place, which we call National Institutional Ranking Framework, and institutions are ranked 1 to 100, and beyond that there are brackets 101 to 150, 150 to 200. So each student and parent knows in the whole country where this institution stands, and one is overall national level ranking, and from that one can always draw a subset of that for a state which is the best one, so that I am in a particular state, which is the best possible college in our own state. This can be identified from National Institutional Ranking Framework, number one. Number two, accreditation. We want that every institution should get accredited. We have said to all the colleges that you apply for accreditation and get accreditation. Now there are different levels of accreditation. One is excellent institution gets a cycle of 6-year accreditation. Some institution which is not up to that mark gets 3-year accreditation. Some institution which has applied but did not succeed, that is next level of institution. There are institutions who applied but they were not allowed to fill the form because they did not qualify the qualifier mark itself. And there are some institutions who know that they cannot qualify the qualifying mark and therefore don't even apply. So if a institution transparently displays, I have not applied, I have applied but I was not shortlisted for going further, I was shortlisted, visit happened and I was not successful, visit happened and we were successful but only 3-year accreditation is given, and we got 6-year accreditation. So there is a clear-cut distinction from one level to the highest level, and if this is transparently available on the website, which we have made mandatory, student can judge whether this college is good or not good.
Now lastly, message to the promoters and the directors and vice chancellors who are running the institution, how to maintain the quality and to focus on their institution so that they do not suffer like other institutions are suffering in getting less admissions or then going for a closure in future.
See, the only parameter on which institutes can survive is quality, and quality and quality, and that is most important. And unless the institutional management, the principal, the heads of the department don't realize this and don't put in efforts in that direction, the institutions will have problems. So my advice, my request to them is to understand the best practices of other institutions, how they have done. One of the things is industry institute interaction, which is missing in many institutions. Unless you move 2 steps forward and request the industry people to come to your institution, many a times on their own they may not come. So how much effort is being taken by the heads of the institution management to talk to industry, get them on board, ask industry persons to come and take 1 or 2 lectures. Forget about them. If some institution is in existence for about 10 years, Some of their alumni are already in industries. Will you really call them back to the college and ask them to interact with your students and find out what is happening in industry? I think there are many ways in which every institution, if it does actively some kind of work, I'm sure they will come of age. Secondly, every institution should have two other things. One is different types of societies or clubs for variety of activities, which will create enthusiasm among students. So say robotics club, so automotive club, or aero modeling club, astronomy club. So you can name them, science club. So if there are activities, every student gets engaged in those activities, and beyond classroom they will start doing many things, and they will become leaders, they will become team members, how to work in teams, time management, they start learning all these things, and that helps the student. This is very, very important. Second important thing is every institution should have an innovation cell and a setup whereby any bright idea which a student gets, he should be able to experiment, and that is the beginning of the startups. So if you allow workshop, laboratory to be used by students round the clock, whenever he gets an idea, he can go there and work on his idea, project, convert that into important product, and then finally launch his own startup company. So if you start providing this opportunity, I'm sure no college needs to be closed. Every college will be successful.
So this was an insightful and thoughtful interview with the Honorable Chairman of AICTE. We will keep these interviews happening regularly so that we can get the new news and updates about the education industry and the proceedings and policies being implemented by AICTE. This was for this interview this week. We will keep happening the next interview next week with some other personality. Till then, goodbye.